Hello guys, what is up? It is your boy Amish Hammer back yet again. This one I'm going to try and make very short and very sweet, very quick. This is for all the new players out there. Just a simplified aspect video. I'm not going to go into what aspects do. I'm just going to talk about how to activate them and all of the super basic details that you need to know. Let's get right into it. First, we have your basic character. Nothing on them. Unfortunately, I can't do the full empty brand new screen, so we're just gonna have to go off of this. First, if you want to get an aspect, or if you want to open the aspect menu, if you have your paper doll open, you can double click the thing at the top. Boom, that opens it. Or you can go into the help menu and hit aspect mastery. There's also a command you can type in for it. But that is the first simple thing. Next, how to unlock an aspect. First, I will go over the things you need, and then I'll explain how you activate it. So there are lots of aspects, as you can see, that you can choose from. There's quite a few. This menu at the bottom right or bottom left is the aspect overview and aspect details. The overview just tells you what tier you're at for every single one. It's an easy way to activate your stuff, but it doesn't tell you the details of all your aspects of what they actually do. So since I don't have gadget unlocked, we're just going to use this as an example right now. So to unlock any aspect at the very start, you need 4 cores, 2 distills, and an aspect kit for that specific aspect. The aspect cores and the aspect distills randomly drop off of mobs, so if you're gonna try and do this without buying anything, that's gonna be quite a grind, because there's a lot of cores and distills that you can choose from that randomly will drop. So it's best to just go out and buy what you need if you don't already have it. Now for the aspect kit, this is the one thing that you can craft yourself. I have the window pulled up right here. In the aspect items, in the tailor skill, it is 1 MCD and 250 leather. You have to be 100 tailoring to be able to craft it. People usually will sell these for like 25k max. So, or just find a friendly tailor and bring them the ingredients and they will craft it for you. So as long as you have these 3 items in your bag, then you can hit unlock aspect. Pretty simple. That will permanently unlock it on your character. It is not account wide, it is character specific. After that, you will still see that it's tier 0. The way this works now is you have to first get a full set of armor on. So there you go. I have a full set of chainmail armor. Since I don't have gadget unlocked, we will use something else as a example. So there's 3 sections. We will pull out a weapon really quick. A random weapon, and then we'll put that in as well. So there's 3 sections. They're in the aspect menu. We have the melee weapon section up here, the spellbook section, and then the armor section. The way this works, which confuses people sometimes, is some people think when they first start out, if they die, they lose the whole aspect, which is not true. You lose the armor and the weapon if you die, or you most likely will lose it because it'll get looted. You keep the aspect. Basically, the aspects themselves are printed onto the armor and weapon or spell book that you are currently using. So this is all just some crappy chainmail stuff, magical items. So once I have a full set of armor on, I'll be able to double click and then it'll activate. Now you can see right here that it's showing that my gloves, my gorget, and my coif are not activated. They are. If you click on them, it'll say Earth Aspect Chainmail. So it is activated. The reason it doesn't show that it's activated is because at the top right here, where it says Manage Hues, you'll get this little tab. If you see right here, certain ones are checkmarked. If they are checkmarked, it will save the original hue of that item. And the reason this is a thing is because of the blessed clothing that can work as armor. So you have a pair of gloves, you have a pair of gorgets, and you have a pair of a hat layer that all are clothing based that can be dyed. So take, for example, this mask I have. This mask is dyed death aspect hue. And maybe I want to keep it death aspect hue. I could still activate it, which means now it's a death aspect hue, but it is an earth aspect primal mask. So I still have earth aspect active on my mask. It just only shows the color that I dyed it. So keep that in mind if you're curious why your gloves and stuff are not showing. By default, it's usually turned on. Okay. Now, getting back to the weapon, you guys can ignore the check mark on the weapon. That is a customization. My weapon will almost always look like it's not aspected. I turned it off for now so we can put fortune on it. So now I have a golden fortune looking weapon, and I will get the bonuses from the weapon category. That's pretty simple, self-explanatory right there. Next, what you need to know about this menu. First is Arcane Essence, which is what aspects basically run off of. So while you're outside farming, you will run into magic weapons. I recently just smelted mine down, but there is a menu here. We'll pull open the crafting menu, since most people don't have a magic recycler right off the rip. So if you go into a crafting menu, you do not need any crafting skill for this. You just need the crafting tool. You'll also need an item ID wand or a container ID wand. I personally like the container ID wand better because it just does the whole container of magic items. So while you're out farming, casually killing things and getting magical weapons and magical armor, you'll want to smelt it down by going to this recycle single item, and then you click this button until you go over and see recycle all magic items, or recycle all magical, and then you hit begin recycling. And once you begin that, it'll give you a target cursor, and then you can target the bag of the ID'd items into it, and that will smelt down all the identified magical items. It'll also give you some of the resources back. So if you're smelting down iron weapons and leather armor and maybe some bows, you'll get leather, you'll get wood, and you'll get iron back. So that's a passive income as well. And then once you have that, you'll get this purple stuff that's up in the top left. It looks like a little shampoo bottle. That is Arcane Essence, and that is what is important to keep your aspect active. I think they have it currently set where it will use one Arcane Essence for every 2,000 damage that you do, which is pretty nice, especially if you're a lockpicker or a thief, because you're not really going to be using aspect. You're not going to be doing damage, so you will run out of stuff a lot less likely. But as a tamer or a mage or a dexter, you're doing damage quite frequently, so you're going to use a lot more essence, and this drastically increases the higher you get in your aspect. So since I'm tier 15 earth and tier 13 fortune, I'm going to be hitting a lot harder and doing a lot more damage and hitting a lot more accurately. So I'm going to be using a lot more essence than everyone else. So you got to keep that in mind while you're designing around your build, that you're always going to have to keep this stocked up. So keep an eye on your arcane essence. You could always set it, just add. I usually, this is a little bit of a, I guess, tiny flex, but I usually just buy 10,000 at a time, and then I use it, and then eventually it'll go away, and then it'll let me know when I need more. And the way that you do that is over here. Warn when you're below 1,000. Now this is a custom feature that you can set to have it yell at you whenever you're below a certain threshold, so you know that you can go buy more. That's what that feature's for. Now for the rest of the stuff, pretty simple. So you have the melee and the spell book. These are your main offensive features. You'll always see this blue gem in any of the aspects. So say you were running command or tamers, you have inspiration. If you click this, this is the it's called your weapon proc or your aspect proc. And then over here, so we'll activate it. My bow is there. So now in this menu, it'll tell you at tier 12, I have a 34% accuracy increase. I get 34 tactics, and on hit, I have a 1.1% chance to get a proc off. It's a lot higher for mages that are casting with spells because they take longer and they run on mana. For dexters, you literally can just keep going. Every hit is a 1% chance to get a proc at tier 10. But each of the aspects have different aspect procs. So if I click this, you'll see at the bottom left, it does specific things. For command, it'll heal all nearby followers by a certain percentage. It'll also give them a massive damage increase for the next 5 minutes or until that specific mob dies. So if you proc and you're playing tamer and say you have 5 wolfhounds, which are 1 slot pets from Aegis Keep on level 1. If you proc and get the inspiration off, they are doing a large amount of damage increase, and all 5 of them are instantly topped off because they are low level pets. They don't have much health, so the inspiration will instantly heal them all the way, and they'll get a large damage boost, and they will just start shredding things apart. That's what command does. I'm not going to go through all the other aspects, but I'm just explaining what these buttons are for. They don't change based on if it's a melee or a spell book. The only thing that changes is the proc chance. They still do the same thing. As for the armor, say we're doing command armor now. Put command armor on. The armor actually dies to that color, and then you have all the bonuses that the armor gives you. So follower damage bonus is up by 23%. Follower damage resistance is up by 23%. And then when I tame, I have a 115% increased chance to tame things, which is great. But then I also gain my pets when I'm trying to level a pet from level 0 to level 10. They get 115% more XP, so they level a lot faster. Um, that's pretty much it. It will say over here to activate it costs 5, which yes, it it's just a gold sink situation. Every time you want to activate an aspect or on a weapon or on armor, you're going to need to spend 10 essence basically. Uh, Now the other aspect overview tab, this just shows you every aspect that's in there. You can filter out only ones that you have unlocked. And then it's a more simplified way to activate your stuff. So if I wanted to go full death aspect, I could do that from this menu without having to go look through everything. You could also in here, I don't know why you would want to do this unless you're trying to save arcane essence. You can lower the tier of your aspect, and as you can see on the left, your aspect raises and lowers your tactics bonus because it's based on your weapon. So you'll see that going up and down. The only other thing that is in here that I didn't talk about is the red line system, but this is not something a new player should really worry about. This is like very, very, very late end game. So new players, don't even look at this because it's going to be a while until you get here. But basically, aspects, they can go up to tier 15. So I can go to tier 15 on Earth, or I'm already at tier 15. I can go to 16. You can see this little dagger right here. That means that's part of the red line system. Now, the red line system allows you to basically go overkill on everything. It's super late game, and the way it works is basically, say I was tier 15 Earth and I wanted to go tier 16. I would still have to use all this stuff, the 60 cores, 20 distills, and a gem, which is from factions, but I still would not be able to do this if I had that stuff. The way Redline works is it's based on zones. So if I wanted to get tier 16, and say I only farmed wilderness, I would need to get 15 points. It costs 15 points in wilderness. I don't even have a single point. And then in wilderness, I will be able to unlock tier 16. But the tier 16 does not work anywhere else. So if I go into, say, the ocean does not give me any bonuses because I will not have anything worked on in the ocean. I don't even know how I farmed 667 gold in the ocean. I don't do the ocean, so that's confusing. But yes, this is late game, like very, very end game stuff. So once you get everything tier 15, that also scales how much experience you get. So the more tier 15 aspects you have, the more XP you gain towards the red line system. So like I said, confusing for a different time. Don't worry about it as a new player. As a new player, it is not something you should be looking at regardless. So that is basically the whole system. That is the gist of everything. If I did not make anything something clear, please let me know in the comments and I will message you and explain it even better. As for now, I'm done for now, boys. I will see you next time.